Chapter 1. The sun had just begun to set, casting a warm glow over the rolling hills of the English countryside. Elizabeth strolled along the cobblestone path, the scent of wildflowers filling the air. She looked breathtaking in her flowing emerald gown, the sunlight catching the sparkle in her eyes. She had always found solace in the serenity of nature, and today was no exception. As she continued her leisurely walk, her mind drifted to the impending bridal ball that would take place in just a few days. It was to be a grand event where the most eligible bachelors and young women of the county would gather, hoping to find a suitable match. Her heart sank at the thought of potentially being forced into a loveless marriage. She longed for a deep and passionate connection, one that would defy societal norms and expectations. That evening, she found herself lost in thought, standing on a hill overlooking the shimmering lake below. Suddenly, she heard the sound of horse hooves approaching. Turning, she spotted a lone rider making his way toward her. As he came into view, she was taken aback by his striking features and the air of mystery that surrounded him. "Good evening, miss," he greeted her with a charming smile. "Good evening," Elizabeth replied, her heart fluttering at the sight of this enigmatic stranger. "My name is William," he introduced himself. "I couldn't help but notice your elegance from afar, and I felt compelled to meet you." Elizabeth blushed at his words, feeling a warmth spread through her as his gaze locked with hers. They spent the evening walking along the lakeside, exchanging stories and basking in each other's company. William's wit and intelligence captivated Elizabeth, and she found herself drawn to him in a way she had never experienced before. The feeling of freedom and excitement that enveloped her in his presence was intoxicating. As the night grew darker, they made their way back to the manor where Elizabeth resided. Before parting ways, William took her hand and looked into her eyes with unwavering intensity. "I hope to see you at the bridal ball, Elizabeth," he said softly. "I believe that our meeting tonight was no mere coincidence." Elizabeth's heart raced at the thought of meeting him again, and she found herself fervently hoping that fate would bring them together once more. Chapter 2. The night of the bridal ball arrived, and the manor was adorned with elegant decorations and the sound of lively music filled the air. Elizabeth entered the grand hall, her emerald gown flowing behind her as she scanned the faces of the guests. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw William standing at the far end of the room, his eyes searching for her. As their gazes met, a rush of emotions surged through her, and she felt an undeniable connection with him that defied explanation. William approached her, and they began to converse as if they were the only two people in the room. Time seemed to stand still as they laughed and shared their dreams and aspirations. Their enchanting evening was interrupted by the arrival of Lord Harrington, a wealthy and influential suitor who had set his sights on Elizabeth. He extended his hand to her, requesting a dance, and she reluctantly accepted, feeling the weight of societal expectations pressing down upon her. As they moved across the dance floor, Elizabeth's mind drifted back to William, who was watching her intently. Lord Harrington's words became a distant murmur as her thoughts were consumed by the longing to be in William's arms once more. As the dance concluded, Lord Harrington attempted to press his suit upon her, but Elizabeth felt a growing sense of unease. She excused herself and sought refuge in the tranquility of the manor's gardens, where she hoped to find solace in the midst of her inner turmoil. As she wandered through the moonlit pathways, she heard footsteps approaching from behind. Turning, she was overjoyed to find William standing before her, his expression filled with concern. "Elizabeth, are you well?" he asked, his voice filled with genuine care. "I am afraid, William," she confessed, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I fear the constraints that society places upon me, and the pressure to conform to expectations that do not align with the desires of my heart." William reached out and gently lifted her chin, his touch sending shivers down her spine. "Do not be afraid, my dear. I feel it too, the pull of our hearts toward each other, defying the conventions that seek to keep us apart." In that moment, Elizabeth's fears melted away, replaced by a sense of hope and determination. She knew that she had found a kindred spirit in William, and she was unwilling to let go of the love that had ignited within her. Chapter 3. In the days that followed, Elizabeth and William found stolen moments to be together, their love blossoming in secret beneath the watchful eyes of society. They shared stolen glances, whispered words, and tender caresses, their hearts intertwined in a dance of passion and devotion. However, their happiness was soon overshadowed by the disapproval of Elizabeth's family, who were determined to see her wed to Lord Harrington. As the pressure mounted, Elizabeth and William found themselves facing an impossible choice, risking everything to be together or succumbing to the dictates of society. In a secluded clearing in the woods, they met under the canopy of ancient trees, their hearts heavy with the weight of their circumstances. William took Elizabeth's hands in his gaze filled with unwavering resolve. "My love, I cannot bear to see you forced into a loveless union," he declared. "I am willing to defy all odds and fight for our future together. Will you stand by me, Elizabeth, in the face of adversity and uncertainty?" Elizabeth's heart swelled with determination, and she looked into William's eyes with unwavering conviction. "I will stand by you, William, for our love is worth more than any societal expectation or material wealth. I choose to follow my heart, and with you by my side, I am fearless." Their love gave them the strength to confront the challenges that lay ahead, and they vowed to overcome every obstacle in the pursuit of their happiness. Chapter 4. The day of the grand society ball arrived, where the engagement of Elizabeth and Lord Harrington was to be announced. The manor was adorned with opulent decorations, and the guests gathered in anticipation of the formal announcement. Amidst the dazzling display, Elizabeth stood resolute, her gaze fixed on William, who watched her from across the room with unwavering devotion. As Lord Harrington approached her, his hand outstretched, she took a deep breath and prepared to defy the expectations that sought to confine her heart. In a moment of bold defiance, Elizabeth turned to Lord Harrington and withdrew, stepping boldly toward William, who stood waiting for her. The room fell silent as she took his hand, her heart racing with exhilaration and fearlessness in the face of societal censure. "I choose love over expectation, William," she declared, her voice unwavering. "I choose you." The hall erupted into a whirlwind of shocked gasps and murmurs, but Elizabeth and William remained steadfast in their decision. their love shining brightly amidst the disapproving glances and whispered criticisms. As they stood together, hand in hand, a sense of triumph washed over them, knowing that they had chosen the path of genuine love and happiness despite the constraints of society. Their unwavering devotion had overcome the barriers that sought to keep them apart, and they knew that their love would endure for eternity. Epilogue. In the wake of their bold declaration of love, Elizabeth and William faced the challenges of societal scrutiny and disapproval. Yet, their unwavering commitment to each other and the strength of their love allowed them to overcome every obstacle that stood in their way. With the relentless support of friends who embraced their unconventional love story, Elizabeth and William forged a future together, built upon the unwavering foundation of genuine love and determination. As they walked hand in hand through the sunlit meadows, their love bloomed with each passing day, igniting the passion that defied the boundaries of the world around them. Their story became a testament to the enduring power of love, a love that transcended the confines of societal expectation and rose above the critics who sought to dim its radiant flame. In the end, Elizabeth and William's love endured, an eternal dance that would echo through the ages, an ode to the triumph of the heart over the constraints of society. And as they stood together, gazing into each other's eyes, they knew that their love would endure for eternity, a testament to the timeless power of love's eternal dance.